Yo, most people end up wasting their entire morning scrolling away on their phones, right? The alarm goes off, you roll over, you hit snooze, then all of a sudden, Instagram, TikTok, haha, funny meme, YouTube short, right? Wasting your entire morning. And the problem with that is when you waste your entire morning, you waste your entire day. Rather than doing that, in this video, I'm going to be going over the exact framework that you can use to stop wasting your mornings so that you can start locking in and making progress towards your goals. Now, let's say you're in a rush. You can just watch this video on double speed to save time, and I'm not going to waste any more, but let's get right into it. So, first, you need to understand why it exactly is that you're stuck. And, because you're stuck like this guy trapped in the box over here, you're trapped in a loop of scrolling and procrastination. And in order to escape, what it's not going to take is, oh, you don't need to wake up at 6 a.m. or you don't have to grind for 12 hours every single day for the rest of your life. And it doesn't necessarily take any more willpower than you already have. The reality of the situation is that you simply need a simple daily blueprint, right? And through this simple daily blueprint, you're going to be able to build the consistency, the focus that you need in order to make consistent progress. Now, if you want the exact systems that I use to lock in my focus, to stop getting distracted and gain back 10 to 20 focused hours every single week, which allowed me to grow my socials, allowed me to make my first money online, actually start locking in, then just click the first link in the description. Now, other than that, right, we need to go over something, right? There's a problem here, and the problem is not that you're lazy, right? It's not a laziness problem. It's not an effort thing. It's simply a lack of preparation. And as you can see in this beautiful image that I prepared, preparation is key. Because the problem is that when you wake up and instantly start scrolling, that means you have no plan in place. For example, I had a friend come up to me recently. He said, Lim, okay, I know you're doing this focus thing. It seems to be working. I got this problem. I wake up, I believe he said he woke up at like 8 a.m. and he was supposed to get out of bed, but he didn't actually do anything until like 10. That's 2 hours and 30 minutes that this guy was wasting because he was just stuck scrolling on his phone, Instagram, YouTube shorts, whatever the case was, right? The problem that it was arising from was a lack of a plan. Because even myself, right, when I wake up and I do not have a plan, right, or I wake up without a plan, without something scheduled, without like a set thing of, set list of things that I'm going to get done, then I simply just don't get out of bed because I'm like, well, what's the reason, right? I don't have anything to do, so I'm not going to get out of bed, and I stay scrolling, right? And it's the same with a lot of other people. But rather than that, when you have that plan, when you know, okay, when I wake up, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, then I'm going to do that. Well, you know what you're going to do. You just get up and do it, right? Because again, scrolling means that you have no plan in place. There was nothing predetermined, so your mind simply defaults to that state of least resistance, that state of stagnation, that state of nothingness. Because every hour that you have unplanned, it is going to get claimed by dopamine because your brain, unfortunately, hates boredom. Forgive me, I'm writing on my computer, right? Imagine this is the most beautiful handwriting you've ever seen, right? Unfortunately, your brain hates this state right here. It despises it. So whenever that feeling arises, whenever that state of nothingness starts to come in, it's naturally going to shift its focus, trying to get distracted, trying to do something just to escape that feeling because you don't want to be with your thoughts. You don't want to be in that state of nothingness. So because of that distaste for boredom, it's naturally going to pick the option that is the easiest for it to escape boredom. And oftentimes that's scrolling, Netflix, video games, whatever your vice is, right? It's going to naturally do to that. So because of this aspect of our brains, planning is not optional. It is protection, right? It's protection against the chaos of life. It is protection against the detrimental effects of dopamine. When you plan things, truly plan things, when you plan things correctly, then your day is going to end up a lot better. You're going to get a lot more done. And you're going to start seeing the incremental progress that you make towards your goals. Then you're going to start seeing that massive progress because momentum, it increases, right? You're not just going to stick with the little increment. It's going to start increasing that snowball effect, right? It's going to get to the bottom of the hill. You're running over Yetis, crushing cars, taking out deers, right? That snowball is not getting stopped anytime soon. Realize that your day is like a construction site. It's very similar to a construction site. Imagine you got a bunch of construction workers. You wake them up at 6 a.m., but there's no blueprint. There's no plan. You didn't give them anything. You just said, hey, go to this construction site. and that was it, right? When they get there, what do you think they're gonna do? Do you think they're gonna build this massive, beautiful, 10-story skyscraper? That's not really a skyscraper, a 100-story skyscraper. No, they're just gonna sit around and probably not do anything. It's just a wasted work, wasted effort. If they do something, it's gonna be very incoherent. Got a bunch of random things going on. It's not really going to amount to much, right? Your day is that construction site. If you do not give your workers a blueprint, if you do not give your brain a blueprint, then nothing is going to happen. Nothing of substance, nothing useful. Which leads me to the blueprint framework. This is the exact framework that I use to make consistent progress towards my goals, the framework that I use to start my days off strong, which allowed me to supercharge my socials, allowed me to make my first money online, right? Because of this, I was able to dive in my focus and accomplish a lot of different things. But enough about that. What exactly am I talking about here? Well, first, you need to choose your big three. And as you can see down here, there's the big three of anime. Okay, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece, right? This is the big three, right? You think of anime, you think of these three, right? Now, I use that as an example, but this has nothing to do with anime, actually. The big three, rather, are the three needle movers, right? Now, what exactly is a needle mover? So, needle mover. So imagine, you're trying to get to a destination. You're trying to get to point A from point B, except, point B is like 1,000 miles away, right? This is the throttle of your vehicle, right? Now, to get to point B, you're going to have to travel a lot of distance. So it probably makes sense to travel fast, right? Or to get to that point as soon as possible, because this is the destination you're trying to get to. But your throttle's like back here, right? You're going like 5 miles an hour. It's going to take you a very long time to get there. Now, the needle mover is the thing that pushes the throttle, right? This is the activity. This is the action that brings you the most progress in the least amount of time with the least amount of effort, right? Pushing that needle rather than going 5 miles an hour. You're not going like 120, right? Now you're being chased by the cops. You've got helicopters on your trail, right? Everybody's coming after you. You're breaking the speed limit, right? But who cares? You're getting to your goal, right? Now, the needle mover, right? These are the three things that will bring you the most progress. A very simple way to answer that question is asking yourself, if I only did these three things, would it matter? Would I get somewhere? Would it be a meaningful thing for me to do? If the answer is yes, then you should do that thing. If the answer is no, then you should probably figure out what those three needle movers are. And the less choice you have, the more focus you're going to have. And again, we can draw another diagram here. Right, so, we got two circles, right? One circle over here, one circle over here. This circle represents the total of your focus, right? So in this one, you've got like 20 different tasks. You got a little bit of focus here, then some there, a little bit of focus there, a little bit of focus there, a little bit of focus there, right? You got a bunch of tiny little lines that aren't really doing anything, right? But over here, you only got three. So you get focus here, you get focus there, and you get focus there, right? Now, again, if you had one line, energy, a lot of focus, right? Essentially, the less things you have to focus on, the less choices that you have, the more focus, the more attention, the more energy, the more, genuine progress you're going to be able to make with that single thing. Now, the reason I said three instead of one is because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to hyper focus on a single thing in a single day. You're not going to wake up and only work out and do nothing else for the entire day, right? You have other things you need to handle. There are other areas of your life that need to be maintained and they need to be improved. So pick the most, the three lever movers, the three things that are going to bring you the most progress in whatever the goals are that you're trying to achieve. As an example, let's say one of your goals is to get straight A's this semester. Then your lever movers would probably be something like, okay, studying, you're going to doing the practice test, right? Going over my notes, right? Some type of studying method. But then maybe you're also trying to maintain your physique. Okay, 2 hours in the gym. Maybe you're even trying to, make progress with your business. Okay, I got to do outreach, delivery, whatever the case is, right? These are the things that make the genuine progress, not these, 10 small tasks, doing things like, trying to drag the screen. Yes, doing things like, I gotta answer these emails. I gotta respond to these DMs. I'm gonna, I don't even know. How would you waste your time studying? I'm gonna, look at the textbook, but then, not do any of the practice questions, right? Not the small tasks that you think are making progress, but aren't actually doing anything, right? You need to make genuine progress, right? Because time, it's a resource, right? You can't be wasting this sacred resource on things that are not moving that lever forward. So Pick the 3 most important things and work on them like nothing else matters to you. Now, next, you want to front load the hardest task. And as you can see down here, I've provided an image of a frog. And if you know me, if you've been watching my content for a while now, you probably know where I'm going with this. But before I get into that analogy, understand that the morning, right, when you first wake up, this is the highest energy, lowest input point of your day. Highest energy because you've just woken up from sleeping for like, 6, 7, 8 hours, however long you slept for, right? And then again, right, there's no inputs, right? There's no distractions. There's no people trying to talk to you. Oh, can you go take the trash out? Can you go feed the dog? Can you go do this or that, right? Because if you're waking up before everybody else, then nobody's going to be speaking to you. Nobody's going to be distracting you. You can lock in and get things done, right? So as you can see here, second point is eat the frog first. This is the momentum multiplier, which is why I got this frog down here. And to explain, imagine you're going into a restaurant, right? You and your boys, you're going to Gordon Ramsay's 5-star restaurant. And on your plate, you talk to the waiter, yeah, let me get this, that, and the third, right? You get all your favorite foods. You got the steak, the potatoes, the collard greens. You got some mac and cheese, some beef Wellington, right? You got a bunch of good stuff. Then Gordon Ramsay, right, he comes out with your plate, but then there's a frog on your plate too. And you have to eat the frog, right? If you don't eat this frog, then the entire world, everybody goes to jail. Your family gets imprisoned. You owe like $50,000 to the IRS. They're repossessing your house, right? A lot of bad things are going to happen if you don't eat this frog. Now, question for you. Are you going to eat that frog first or are you going to eat the frog last? Now, if you said you're going to eat the frog last, I suggest you reevaluate your option. Because let's go with that, right? Let's say you eat that frog last. So you eat all that good food. Okay, beef Wellington, this mashed potatoes, it's so good. Oh my goodness, I can't believe this delicious food. I gotta come here again, right? But then you got this frog on your plate. So now, all that good food you ate, all that delicious meal, right? It's just going out the window because now you have the aftertaste of this slimy, disgusting live frog because it wasn't cooked. It's a literal living frog on your plate. Now you gotta eat this raw frog. It's like, you're puking, your gag reflex is activating. It's not a fun experience, right? You're probably not gonna go to the restaurant again. Well, I mean, irrespective, you probably wouldn't go there if you're eating a live frog, but ignoring that, let's say you eat the frog first, okay? You eat the slimy frog. Oh my goodness. I'm about to throw up. Oh, I'm going to die, right? But at the very least, now you've got all this good food that you can cleanse your palate with. Oh man, I ate that disgusting frog. At least I got my steak. I got my chicken. I got my potatoes, my mac and cheese, right? Now you're eating good right now. You don't even remember the frog, right? And doing your work is the same way. When you want to get that slimy, that difficult, hard, disgusting, living frog task out of the way first thing in the morning. Because when you do that hard thing, that difficult thing, throughout the day, you're simply going to compare it with the things that you did before, right? Okay, so, oh my goodness, I woke up, I got that 2 hours of focus work done. Oh, I got to do this little thing for 5 minutes, easy. Oh, I got to do this little thing for 30 minutes, easy. Oh, I got to do this little thing for 10 minutes, easy, right? You're going to constantly compare all of the work that you have to do with the things that you have, or rather with the hard task, the difficult task that you already did. And you're going to be more likely to do those things because you're constantly telling yourself in your head, oh, I did that. Doing this is a piece of cake. Oh, I did that. There's no reason for me not to do this thing, right? Eating the frog first, doing the most difficult thing first thing in the morning is genuinely one of the best tactics for focus, the best tactics for productivity that you can ever implement, right? So get it done early before the distraction can set in, before the chaos of life comes in, right? Just get that thing done, get it out of the way, and you'll be set for the rest of the day. And last is that you need to protect the build site again, because as we established up here, your day is a lot like a construction site. If you're not protecting that construction site, if you got a bunch of, random people coming in, they're going to steal your tractors, they're going to steal the crane. I don't know how they're going to steal the crane. It's going to happen though, right? You're going to come back and it's going to be completely empty. Now you got to replace it all, right? So you need to protect it, right? You need some type of protection, meaning that you need to block, first of all, the inputs. So what exactly am I talking about here? Well, that means, no tabs, no inboxes, no phone, no notifications, no distractions, right? Anything that could come into your day and distract you. Oh my goodness. Yes, anything that can come into your day that can distract you from doing any of these 3 big tasks over here. Well, you need to block that thing, right? So your phone, don't work with your phone in your room, right? Grayscale it, notifications off, throw it to the side, right? Close all the extra tabs, the tabs that you're not using. Close your inbox. You don't gotta check your emails, your direct messages, right? Just remove it all because those are things that will pull your focus away, right? And again, if you're trying to focus on 20 different things, you're not making progress in anything at all. So remove those things from the area, from the space, so that you can genuinely focus on the thing that truly matters, the thing that is going to move that lever and get you closer to your goals. And next, again, having a clean space means that your work is clean, because when your area is clean, that means you have a clean mind. When you have a clean mind, the outputs of your mind are going to be clean. What are the outputs of your mind? Focus, consistency, productivity, focus work, deep work, right? When again, it's just clean. It's a very simple framework. It's very logical, right? When my space is clean, my mind thinks clean. When my mind thinks clean, I have clean outputs, right? It's not that complicated. It's not complex. It's very simple. So work in a clean space so that you can again focus on what you're doing. Because again, even the stuff in your area, right? Those are visual distractions. It's pulling your attention. Oh, what's that? Oh my goodness, that thing is colorful. Oh my goodness, why is that pin right there? Right? It's gonna distract you from again staying focused on your work. So having that clean area, again, another essential thing in being able to get focused, but more importantly, get a lot done. And realize that systems are going to protect focus a lot better than willpower, right? Willpower, it's not very good. It's very inconsistent. It's up and down, right? And it's also limited, right? Once your willpower is gone, then you're kind of just going with the wind. Oh, I don't want to do this. I have no willpower. I'll just do it. You start making decisions that you normally wouldn't, because again, your willpower is completely drained. It's gone out the window. Systems, on the other hand, that system is going to be there whether you like it or not, right? Like a factory, right? Whether or not the workers, whether or not the employees show up, that factory is still going to be there. And, that factory is still going to be running to the best of its ability, right? It's not going to stop. It's not going to get tired. It's not going to wake up at 6 and the factory's not going to snooze its alarm, right? The conveyor belt is not going to snooze its alarm. It's going to keep running, right? Systems protect focus because systems work regardless of whatever the external circumstances are. Systems are simply superior, right? So understand that I'm not just, talking just to talk. I'm not making all this stuff up. This is stuff that I have genuinely lived, right? So I used to just wing my days, right? Scattered, reactive. I would wake up without a plan and just think to myself, oh, maybe I could get this done. Maybe I can get that thing done. Maybe I can get that thing done. By the end of the day, I wouldn't have done anything. I would have been on my computer playing video games, playing Roblox, 2K, whatever the case was. 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, right? Not accomplishing a single thing. Then I built the carpenter's blueprint, right? This 3-part plan that I implemented every single night, right? Preparing my space, preparing everything beforehand so that when I woke up, I just get straight into the task and I can get a lot done. And because of this, I was able to go from chaos to 10 to 20 hours of deep work hours daily, right? And because of that, I was able to accomplish a lot of things. Don't believe me? You can, probably check the statistics on my YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is, right? My YouTube almost at 10K subs. My Instagram is recently reached around like 131,000, something, 132, something like that, right? And 40,000 of those followers came within the last month, again, because I was really dialing in my focus, dialing in my systems. I started making, my first money online. I think I've made like almost 5K now, right? And again, because I was able to dial in my focus, I could cut out the distractions and put those hours that were being wasted into genuinely moving my life forward. I was able to make a lot of progress, right? Do this, again, simple, repeatable, and a scalable system that I am still carrying out to this day. So, in conclusion, understand that your day is a construction site. And just like at a normal construction site, when you do not have a blueprint, you're going to waste hours, you're going to default to chaos, you're going to get distracted, you're going to start glowing. But on the inverse, on the flip side, when that blueprint is in place, what does that bring you? Clarity. Why clarity? Because when you know what you're going to do, you're very clear on what you need to do. It's A, B, very logical. Again, when you have that blueprint, you can build momentum because you can have the blueprint day by day. Okay, today I need to get these things done to make progress. Okay, I made progress. Now I'm going to build upon that progress because I have the blueprint for tomorrow. Then I'm going to build upon that progress because I have the blueprint for the next day. And you're going to keep doing that. The snowball is going to get bigger and you're going to accomplish a lot, right? Then compounding progress again, same with momentum, that compounding effect, right? Again, you're not just making a little bit of progress each day. That progress stacks upon each other. And the more progress you make, the more progress you're going to be able to make. So start tonight, right? Choose the big three, schedule one of them in, and protect the block, right? Because again, if you win the day, then you can win the week. And if you win the week, I didn't write it here, but you can win the month. And if you win enough months out of a year, then you can win the year. And if you win enough years out of your decade, you win the decade, you get the idea, right? The more consistent you get, the more you win, the more you're going to win. So hopefully you found some value in this video. Hopefully you learned something new. And hopefully you've realized that the method to get focused, the method to finally stop scrolling, stop wasting your mornings away, doing nothing, accomplishing not a single thing. Well, there's actually a very simple system that you can use to overcome it. And again, for those of you interested in using the exact systems or frameworks that I use to overcome my distractions, overcome my phone, video games, anime, and, turn those hours I was wasting into 10 to 20 focused hours every single week, which allowed me to grow over 150,000 collective followers across my platforms, make my first money online, get in the best physique of my life, then click the first link in the description. Other than that, you can click this. I think it's going to be over here. You can click the video over here if you want to learn something new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.